Venezuela hosts its first International Anti-Fascist Youth Congress in Caracas, as delegates from all around the globe meet to discuss a common agenda in their fight against fascism worldwide. More details with our correspondent Belén de los Santos.
Over 500 international guests have arrived in Venezuela for the World Anti-Fascist Youth Congress that is underway in Caracas. Youth from over 70 countries have come together to exchange ideas and experiences in their goal to develop a common struggle plan against fascism worldwide.
Well, first of all, I would like to say that it's very important that we have today's Congress in Venezuela. And the slogan, the motto, as far as I know, of this event is Venezuela Anti-Fascist Territory. And that's right, because Venezuela has been a pain in the neck for the United States for quite a long time already. This is a country that never defends, that never, sells its motherland, and it provokes great admiration and great inspiration watching the people of Venezuela fighting for their freedom. And it's very important having the youth here, because we see a lot of young people from all over the world, from different countries, from different regions, and they are all willing to build a new, more honest future within a multipolar world where everybody would have a say, where everybody would be equally respected. So it's very important to have this kind of events to exchange experience and to stay together.
After being subject to over 930 illegal coercive measures and a brutal foreign media campaign against its election process, Venezuela has decided to promote an international alliance against a world order that threatens to destroy sovereign projects.
Venezuela, I think, is at the forefront of a very historic struggle. And not only that, but Venezuela has clearly recognized the nature of that struggle and recognize the nature of imperialism that is behind fascism. And I think this is a very good opportunity for delegates from around the world to witness what that looks like here in Caracas, where, of course, that struggle has been very in the open in many cases. The contestation of the elections recently and the violence that followed, which I think is absolutely correctly identified as fascist terrorism. I think that delegates today, assembled from so many countries, have a lot to offer as well to Venezuela and to each other in sharing their own experiences in their countries back home.
The fight against a capitalist world order that tries to impose the hegemony of Western powers by warfare and economic oppression is one of the key topics of debate. Delegates from different corners of the world have come together to analyze the impact that this scenario imposes on their peoples.
Well, in my opinion, currently not only in the Netherlands but in Europe as a whole, I think the most important struggle that's going on now is what's happening between Russia and NATO. We have now one of the biggest conflicts since the Second World War on our continent, provoked by NATO actions, it doesn't seem like people in Europe are realizing how dangerous it is, and also what the role of the United States and NATO is in escalating this conflict as big as it has gotten now. So I think one of the most important things that needs to be done right now is to make people aware of the one-sided perspective they are receiving from the media, and also just being curious and interested and legitimately wanting to know and being charitable towards, for example, the Russian perspective on the conflict and what their worldview is.
And Russia has a very important history within that, because you know that the Soviet Union fought against the fascism, they fought against Nazism in the Great War of the motherland. But the thing is that the war against fascism never stopped in 1945, because this is what we see now, and this is a very huge tragedy for our country and for our people, because now we have the special military operation in Ukraine against the neo-Nazi regime of Ukraine, I would say. We are not fighting against people, but we are fighting against the neo-Nazi regime supported by the Western countries financially, by words, and by all the means.
In spite of the challenging global scene, an atmosphere of optimism and camaraderie marks this Youth Anti-Fascist Congress. With raised Palestinian flags, the people from around the globe continue to strengthen their international alliances, trusting the will and resilience of their youth to build a peaceful and free alternative to a world in crisis.
It's been said that imperialism, or rather fascism, is not a sign of capitalism's strength, but its weakness. And I think this is important for us to recognize. It's easy to be overwhelmed and to feel hopeless when we see these fascist advances taking place around the world. But I would insist that this is an opportunity. This is a symptom of capitalism in crisis and a back foot in weakness.
Belén de los Santos, Caracas, Venezuela.